Sorry to interrupt you there, Sam, but let's go across to Bhuj now. And there you can see Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has arrived in Bhuj. And we were reporting on this, how the Defence Minister, after being in Jammu and Kashmir and visiting the airbase there, would be now in Bhuj. And he would be visiting the airbase in Gujarat. And all right, so he has arrived. These are early up there. You can see Rajnath Singh arriving at the Bhuj Airbase. Now, remember, Bhuj was one of the air bases that was targeted during the recent conflict with Pakistan, where we saw drones and even missiles being used to target Indian bases, Indian cities. And Bhuj was one of those bases that was targeted in the drone attack, which was deflected by India's defense systems. And that is, remember, something which is being much talked about. So even as more efforts are made to ensure the peace along the border area, remember the DGMOs will be speaking later today, Director General of Military Operations. But Rajnath Singh there in an effort to really boost the air warriors is at Bhuj Air Base today, where he will interact with them. He will, be shown around, and this comes amid the tensions which continue with Pakistan. For the moment, of course, there is the ceasefire in place, which has been extended till the 18th. There will be more conversations at the DGMO level to reduce hostilities at the border area. This is to bring normalcy there. But meanwhile, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh there in Bhuj, and this comes after he was in Jammu and Kashmir. Well, let's go across to Shiv for more. And Shiv, so a day after visiting the Srinagar Army headquarters, now we have the Raksha Mantri in Bhuj.
That's correct, Gargi. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is in Bhuj today. It's a 2-day visit in Gujarat. The Bhuj Air Force Station is a place where the Raksha Mantri will be interacting with air warriors, the Indian Army's air defence units troops who have done a stellar job in conducting air defence operations of the base and the Bhuj region in general. He'll be interacting with the staff, the radar controllers, the pilots, all of the people who make up the ecosystem of military defense in this area. Bhuj is a forward air base and military station, which is considered a place from where offensive strikes have taken place in the past and definitely took place during Operation Sindoor as well. We can confirm that. It was also a target, remember, for the Pakistani retaliation. There were multiple loitering munitions and drones that came in to try and attack the Bhuj Air Base and the military area around it. All of it, of course, handled by Indian Army air defense units on the ground in Nalia and in Bhuj itself. Fighter operations did take place by the Indian Air Force from the Bhuj station. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh yesterday, as you rightly said, interacted with the forces in Srinagar and today in Bhuj. He's going to be spending 2 days there. Remember, the Bhuj station was also a very important humanitarian relief hub during the 2001 earthquake. It was from this very station that a huge amount of relief actually flowed. It became a nodal center, for relief operations at that time. It has continued to be upgraded and built up now and is still considered a very, very important strategic base capable of striking in the southern parts of Pakistan. There has been word that obviously the details are still to come out and they may never come out. But Bhuj could have been a staging ground for some of the offensive strikes in the southern parts of Pakistan, we are told. But these are classified details which we cannot speculate on. Suffice it to say that Rajnath Singh will be interacting with Army and Air Force as well as BSF officers and troops, Jawans, etc., who are very, very front and center in Operation Sindoor.
That's right, Shiv. So Rajnath Singh there in a boost, really to, he says, the air warriors. He in fact posted on social media saying, leaving New Delhi for Bhuj, looking forward to interacting with our courageous air warriors at the Bhuj Air Force Station. Now, as you said, this is one of the air bases that was targeted by Pakistan, that was very, defended by the defense system, Akash, which much has been said about the manner in which it managed to really, take on and ensure that none of those drones or missiles ever, reach their target. And that is something that is being much talked about, even as, we're waiting for more visuals of Rajnath Singh's visit. He has arrived there. You can see him meeting with the officers and who are greeting him there.
That's right. The details of how Bhuj played both an offensive as well as defensive role is something that will go into the history books along with the other bases, Gargi, in Rajasthan, Punjab and in Jammu and Kashmir that played a very, very frontline role in not just the offensive strikes that were part of the opening round of Operation Sindoor, but the stellar role played by our land forces, the Indian Army, the BSF and others in air defense and land operations, that basically played a very, very defensive role after India had struck terror targets and then military targets in Pakistan. I have been told that Bhuj is a place that Pakistan has kept its eye on for a very long time, because Bhuj offers India, a base from which many strategic locations in Pakistan are within striking distance, whether it is Karachi, whether it is the Bholari Airbase, which was actually damaged in airstrikes this time. Those strikes could well have happened from Bhuj, but we cannot say that for certain because these are obviously classified details. But both in the air and on the ground, clearly, places like Bhuj, places like Srinagar, which I reported from, Nalia is another base which is nearby from where a lot of air defense actually took place. The network and the ecosystem of this defense is a picture that is going to be very important as the days go by, Gargi. And I won't be surprised if after Srinagar and Bhuj, the Raksha Mantri also has plans to visit other bases, other forward areas, other land force establishments, perhaps even the Indian Navy after a while. I'm hearing that there may be a visit by either the defense minister or even the prime minister to INS Vikrant aircraft carrier. This is of course conjecture at this point of time, but it could happen potentially because we've seen the political leadership cover the Air Force and the Army. The Navy also played a very, very stellar role in caging in the Pakistan Navy and Pakistan aircraft as well. So it's possible that some government leaders may visit the Navy next. But these visits are extremely important. They're not just optics. It's not just it's not just for visibility, etc., or a photo op. These are very, very meaningful to war-ready troops who are, let's remember, in the middle of Operation Sindoor. The operation itself is not over. War readiness is still at maximum alert. So the air warriors, the army men, the land forces, the BSF Jawans, officers who Raksha Mantri interacts with are all people who are, on professional operational duty at this point of time. So it's very, very critical that this message goes out to the armed forces and security forces at large, their families, to Pakistan and to the international community.
That's right. As you said, it's not just optics, but let's also talk about the optics, Shiv. The fact that, you had the Prime Minister visiting the Adhampur Air Base, then Rajnath Singh now at the Bhuj Air Base at a time when so much has been said and talked about, what took place during those days of conflict with Pakistan. So important messaging there, as you're emphasizing.
Very, very true. I agree with you completely, Gargi, that the optics are just as important because what the images of Rajnath Singh at Bhuj, accompanied by Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh, really send out. And I remember that the General Officer Commanding in Chief of the Army's Southern Command is also there. These images really project a sense of solidarity, of tri-service jointmanship, of the fact that the Indian Armed Forces have not only done a stellar job but are continuing to do so. The message of solidarity that these pictures send out are priceless. There is no putting a value on them because, as I've reported, from different parts of the country, families, support systems of our soldiers, men and women on the front lines, in Bhuj, there's a huge radar station that actually conducts much of the air defense that takes place in the Gujarat area. Very, very vital installations in all these places, of course, and the enemy has its eyes on them. That's why they sent loitering munitions and drones into Bhuj in an attempt to attack the airbase. Of course, they completely failed thanks to our land forces and air defense installations. But this continues to be a precarious situation in which, Gargi, these visits are taking place. But like I said, the government obviously recognizing that it's important for the physical presence of senior government leaders, whether it was the Prime Minister in Adampur, Rajnath Singh in Srinagar, Rajnath Singh now in Bhuj. Like I said, there'll probably be a naval visit as well. A base in Rajasthan, which was part of Operation Sindoor, could be visited by a senior minister, perhaps even Rajnath Singh next. So this is going to continue for the next few days, because remember, India has it has not given up the operational readiness. That's not going to come down anytime soon. There are many people, Galji, who talk about the narrative war, but with about over 200 high-resolution satellite images of damage inflicted in various parts of Pakistan, including military and terror targets, India has, almost by default sort of toppled over the entire narrative of misinformation that has come in from Pakistan. And therefore, I think the priority now is to stand very firmly behind the security forces whose job, quite frankly, is not over and in many ways has only just begun, because we're dealing with a country like Pakistan that is unpredictable, it's volatile, it has nuclear weapons. The two countries almost did come to war. The ceasefire understanding has been extended till the 18th of May. Very, very small steps, given that it has been difficult for two nuclear-armed neighbors to wind down their war machines. And therefore, Rajnath Singh in Bhuj really radiates that message of unity, unified strength behind the armed forces. The fact that, it is also an echo of the phrase used by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in that CCS meeting, Gargi, before the operations actually began, where he said he was giving them the full operational freedom to act. So these visits by Rajnath Singh, the Prime Minister and others, to forward bases. You had the Civil Aviation Minister visit Srinagar as well yesterday. All of these really, really add to the sense that that operational freedom was not just a phrase. There was a political directive as far as what India needed to do, and airfields like Bhuj, Srinagar, Nalia, etc., and so many others, Adampur included, are very much front and center in what India really wanted to do to Pakistan. So this is a way of saying thanks. This is a way of, showing solidarity. This is a kind of vada. It's like a promise that, the government will stand behind Bhuj, Srinagar, Adampur in whatever they need, whether it is more equipment, more troops, more defenses, longer range weapons, better aircraft, maintenance facilities, whatever it is. This is like an acknowledgement that we know what you've done. We will give you even more of what you want. We understand the difficult job that you do. While we stay safe in Delhi and other cities, you're on the front lines actually defending the sovereignty of the country.
Right, Shiv, thanks so much for joining us with all those details. So there you have Rajnath Singh having arrived in Bhuj, and in fact more visuals now coming in, and you can see him. All right.